What's up, guys? The red light is on. I'm Dave Van Auken. This is 2 weeks in a row. Betting Bananas, 15, 17 minutes, all on betting preview this week's UFC show. UFC Vegas 52, Lemos versus Andrade. All right, guys, if you guys watched last week, Elle Wagman, like I've been telling you guys for weeks and months on end, an absolute gem. She knows her stuff. Killed the show, not even with her best bet, not even the underdog play. All three, even the 3-fight parlay, Elle Wagman killed it with Bilal Muhammad. So we're going to bring her on first. Absolutely give her flowers. Let's see. Elle, what's up?
What's up, Dave? How you doing?
Dude, what are you doing with all that extra cash right now? Like, how are you guys living over there?
Just rolling. No, I'm just kidding.
It is 420, so you might be doing that as well. It is 420.
Oh my God, it is. You're right.
Oh my gosh. All right. Now we have a new third leg of our parlay. I'm so excited to bring him on. I've been talking with this guy for years. Great mind, ex-Bellator top-end fighter, top coach over there, American Top Team years ago. I can't wait to talk to him. Now he's got a great show, MMM Quarterman. Talking about my guy, mighty Ryan Quinn. What's up, brother?
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me, Dave.
Absolutely, man. I'm telling you, I like this, man. This is a good team right here. This is a good 3-fight parlay. I'm liking this.
I'm feeling it.
Definitely. Well, here we go, guys. UFC Vegas 52. They never stop. It's a show after show after show. Good main event. A really, really pivotal flyweight female matchup with Macy Barber and Montana De La Rosa. Couple heavyweight fights. A couple fights that just got changed over the last day or two. But Elle, we'll start with you. You know how we do it. What is your absolute best bet on the board for UFC Vegas 52?
Well, so this card I feel like is definitely a lot closer. Like there's a lot of even money fights this week. There's definitely some pick'em fights for sure. My best bet is actually for the main event to go under the 3.5 rounds. I think we've got two big finishers. Doesn't happen a lot with the female fights as well. But I can definitely see between Lemos is absolutely dangerous on the feet, super good at range. You have Jessica Andrade, who takes lots of damage, but also dishes out plenty of her own as well.
Right.
I see one of them landing a finish. You also have Lemos, who gets very tired. She has not shown that she can necessarily push a pace past that second round. And I'm very interested to see how that looks in rounds 3, 4, and 5 with someone like Jessica Andrade, who tends to actually build up through those first 2 rounds and take over in the third. So I think they both have the ability to finish.
Absolutely great call. Remember that third round with Rose Namajunas and Jessica Andrade? Jessica dominated that third round, really got to Rose a lot there. That was over there at Fight Island. I love it. I love the pick, of course, with Elle. Ryan, up to you, my man. You got to match that right now. What's your best bet on the board?
Elle, you took my second best bet of the board. So this is the one that I got going on right here. I have an under 2, but for Tyson Pedro and Ike Villanueva. I'll tell you why. I think that the 4-year layoff is going to be misleading to the point where people think we're going to see some ring rust out of Tyson Pedro. That being said, his last 2 fights were Mauricio Shogun Rua and Ovince St. Preux. Not an easy paper route. And then that being said, Ike Villanueva, he hasn't gone out of the first round his last 8 fights. So I have some fireworks going early, and that's my under pick.
Man, absolutely. I like that as well. Give me a second. I got to make a bet real quick at DraftKings. Give me a second. No, all right, Elle, we're going to take it to you. This is your underdog play. A little bit risky, but one underdog a week. What is your underdog for UFC Vegas 52?
So I'm actually kind of split because, like I said, there's so many even money fights here, and I really do think that this is a card that favors the favorites. But I actually I'm a huge Groovy Lando fan, man, and it's actually a lot closer than it was previously. I think it's almost even money now, but he is still the underdog. Last time I checked, he has the ability to make that fight just dirty. And we saw a guy like Julian Erosa beating Charles Jourdain has that same ability. And I know Groovy Lando puts himself in a lot of danger, but it might just be my emotions talking. But I think he's going to take this one. Another good underdog bet would be Lemos too, simply because she does have that finishing power and she does have that ability to finish as well.
That's funny. Well, I do want to kind of hit on the main event because I'm a huge Jessica Andrade fan. I actually think she's like kind of she has a little Volkanovski about her since the last month, like really brutally underrated career, top 5 female, always fights championship type of fights, really high end wins. But we'll get to the main event later on. Ryan, give me your underdog play of the week right now.
Yeah, I agree. This was a tough one with picking the underdogs, but I think that mine is pretty safe. I got Dwight Grant beating Sergey. Forgive me on the name, Sergey Kanataziko. I think I was looking at the history on Sergey, even though he's a slight favorite. I felt like he was kind of being pushed early on in his career. That's why he had a good amount of finishes. Then when he reached the level of the UFC, it showed he had some trouble. He was going the distance a lot. And then on the other side, we got Dwight, who's at American Kickboxing Academy, great camp. You know that he's got a ton of training with experience behind him. And the dude's a tough veteran. So he's my pick in the underdog tonight or Saturday night.
Like that a lot. It's funny that seems like the trendy underdog play this week is Montana De La Rosa. You know, Macy's 2 losses in a row, and then she just beat Miranda. But if you watch that fight, did she beat Miranda? So that's kind of been the trendy pick. Both of you guys stayed away from it. I gotta like it, respect it. All right, before we get into that main event, definitely want to talk about that. I'm really intrigued with that fight. I really love that these 2 girls are getting a lot of shine this weekend. I know some people are not on it. I love this fight, Lemos versus Andrade. But Elle, let's start with you. You nailed your 3-fight parlay. You guys, maybe Grant might not have to fight next week. You guys got so much money rolling in that house. But what's your 3-fight parlay for this week's UFC Vegas 52?
So my parlay is I'm gonna start off with my best bet, the main event being under 3.5.
Okay.
Next, I'm actually gonna take Kape. And my third leg of the parlay is going to be Barrel over Jordan Wright.
Ooh, okay. What was the second one? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Manel Kape.
Okay, Cop. I like that a lot. He's a stud. He's a stud.
He's
kind of what like Ryan said a little bit. He was like into the fire. His first 2 fights in the UFC was top 5 guys. Didn't go his way, I believe. I think he was 0-2, maybe only 0-1 in the UFC. I might be off, but like he's on a nice 2-fight win streak. I think stoppages too as a flyweight. Gotta love that. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if you hit that one again. Ryan, let me get your action. Your 3-fight parlay.
Yep. All right, yeah. As mentioned before, I got Tyson Pedro winning over Ike Villanueva in by stoppage in the under. But we'll just say with the parlay sake, we'll say Tyson Pedro. Then I got Dean Barry over Mike Jackson. I think that he's destined to win that fight. That's a no brainer. And then I have Aori again with the names versus Cameron Else. I have that going the over. I think that's a safe bet to go the over. That's my 3-pick parlay.
Man, I like that. I got to put that together because you got some good odds there. I would assume in around the 350, 380 range. You guys were going so good, so quick. I couldn't get it up. Couldn't add it up as quickly. One thing, Elle, we mentioned before you got on a little bit was how is Mike Jackson in the UFC fighting Dean Barry? Like that CM Punk fight was like so 2017. Like we're 2022. We went through a goddamn pandemic already. Like how is Mike Jackson still in the UFC? Like
Grant and I were literally talking about that on the ride home from the gym because I was looking, going through my picks, taking a look at the updated odds, and I was like, this guy's fighting, like. Yeah. And honestly, my best bet is they brought him in for Mickey Gall. They brought him in for CM Punk. They cut him loose, and then they needed another short notice. But I was looking, and it looks like this fight has actually been set 3 different times since January 2021.
Wow.
Right.
That's when it's set on Tapology.
Yeah.
So they really want him to fight Mike Jackson, I guess.
Man, I don't know. All right, let's jump in the main event. Elle, you talked about it a little bit. All right. Like I said, guys, I'm a huge Jessica Andrade. I'm not going to make a pick, make a betting pick, but I would just love your take on the main event as a whole. Where you guys sit on Andrade. She's kind of moving with a different couple weight classes. How do you guys feel about that? Ryan, as an ex-fighter and a coach, where are you at that? Do you love a fighter kind of really getting a home, or is it okay to, maybe move up? Or, we've seen Masvidal at 155. We've seen him at 170. Sometimes you got to put on some pounds to kind of, reboot your career. Where do you see Jessica Andrade in this fight and just almost overall as a career?
Oh, yes. You do need to find a home. Like you said with George, I know myself going down from 170 to 155 was a gigantic benefit. But but have we seen her? Is she at home yet? You know, that's one thing that we need to worry about. But let's just say she is, for argument's sake. I think that she's going to have a nice statement win on Saturday. I do agree with the fact that there are dangers that Amanda Lemos brings to the table. I actually think if one person slips up, they're getting knocked out. If one person slips up, they're getting submitted. Now, but if you look at these opponents, Thug Rose, Valentina Shevchenko, Wiley Zhang, like it's a who's who that she's gone against. So I just think that after all that, that's a lot of rounds against the elite. I think that she's set right here. I mean, I guess we'll see what she looks like after she gets off the scale. But honestly, I think that this is a safe bet. I think we're going to see the very best Jessica Andrade come Saturday night.
I totally agree. And then, Elle, I know you super look into the fights, and I don't want to do a gotcha moment, but if you had to guess, and maybe you know right on the dot, how old do you think Jessica Andrade is?
She's 30, and Amanda Lemos is actually 34.
Exactly. Like, Lemos is, kind of newer to the UFC, and she seems like young or new and hip. And Jessica, we've seen like been around forever, right? Like she fought Rose in the knee and the drop on the head, and then the rematch and Fight Island. Seems like Jessica's been around for a minute. She's 4 years younger than her. Like when I saw that like Monday or Tuesday, when I really started breaking down this card, that jumped at me. I'm like, dude, Jessica's got 4 more years left.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised because we were kind of thinking about her being the older fighter as well. And then I looked that up. But she's because you think of her as having a lot of miles on her. And she does. She absolutely does. She has, I mean, she has been knocked out. She has taken damage, and she takes a lot of damage in her fights. I think she actually dishes out like it's like her significant strikes landed is like 6 point something, and her significant strikes absorbed is 5 point something, which you just don't see a lot of with those female fighters. But that's one of the things that makes her so special is that pressure and her ability to continuously push that pace over a full main event, over 5 rounds. Like we've seen her do it before against Joanna. Even though she lost that fight, man, she put pressure on. She was landing takedowns throughout an entire five round fight. And so even though you have that danger factor coming from Lemos, I have to agree with Ryan. I just don't think she's fought the same competition. She had a split decision over Angela Hill. And when you compare that to knockouts over Cynthia Calvillo, Caitlin Chikagian, and a very close decision to Rose, I just don't see I don't see how Lemos is going to get that done. She absolutely has the danger factor, but I don't know that she's ready for that level.
Totally agree. Totally agree without making my pick. And one of my best bets I made in MMA probably the last 3-4 years is, I think it was around 18 months ago. I bet on Jessica Andrade to get a first round stoppage when she fought Caitlin Chikagian, and she did it with like 15 seconds left in the round. Beautiful body shots, if I remember off the base. Beautiful left hand hook to the body, knees and stuff. Jessica's a monster. I cannot wait for the fight. I know some of the outside casual MMA fans are like, they think this is a weaker card. And we just saw, Chimaev and Burns go to war. And we just had Bilal, who's got a lot of buzz around his name, and he was in the main event last week. I think this card's stacked. I love it. There's a lot of great fights on it. Okay, last week, Elle, I threw out like kind of a fight of the night, a little sneaky fight, not even a bet, just a little fun fight out there. I threw out Fiallo and Bieza, and I nailed that one. That was such a great fight. What's a fight on this card? Without giving out a bet, you got some spunk to it. It's going to be a really good dynamite fight.
I think Barrial and Jordan Wright is going to be fireworks. They're both coming off losses, I'm pretty sure. They both have knockout power. I think they're both going to go at it, and I definitely think we're going to see a finish in that fight.
There we go. How about you, Ryan?
Oh yeah, this jumped off the page to me right away. I think fight of the night's going to be Macy Barber versus Montoya De La Rosa. I just think that you got two high class women who are both 4-2 in the UFC, have shown nothing but progress even in their losses. I think that this is going to be a great fight. This is also a pick that I like to do. I told you about, Dave, is the live line lookout. Pay attention to how the first 2 rounds are going, and if you like to place your bets on the live line, I have a feeling that the first round and a half is going to depict how this fight goes. So pay attention to that. There's a little cookie for you guys.
Man, I don't even have to be here anymore. I'm just like cruise control. You guys are absolute dynamite. Ryan Quinn down there, Elle to my left. Man, guys, make sure, real quick shout out, Elle Fight Club. I put that in the corner. Real quick shout out on the NFT company you got rolling.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, I have a new NFT brand with some other MMA fighters called Immortals Fight Club. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Discord. We are going to be minting here sometime this summer. I'm really excited about it. We love the MMA community. We want to help fighters create new revenue streams, help them get paid. And also we have a really fun Discord community where people talk about who they're betting on every weekend. We do draft picks in our Discord community. So definitely come check that out.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ryan, how about your YouTube show, MMA Cornerments? Shout
Oh
that out.
Yeah. I started a new YouTube show. I didn't want to call it a podcast, but I guess that's what it is. It's a short form podcast. I'm going to make t-shirts. Don't call it a podcast. But anyway, it's called the Cornerman_MMA. Please check us out. I get a lot of cool guests on there. I break down fights, either coaching me. I just talk about potential fights going forward. We have a lot of fun. The Cornerman_MMA on YouTube. Please check us out, and Instagram.
There we go. Last word for me, guys. Check out Chase Sherman taking this fight on 2-3 days notice. He's at a plus 850. I bet you he's going to be over a plus 1,000. He's got one of the nastiest leg kicks in the heavyweight division. Romanov, big wrestler, big base. Watch Chase Sherman at a plus 1,000, 1,100, maybe cash in a leg kick early round 1, round 2. Just throwing it out there. All right, guys, I'm Dave Van Auken, Elle Wagman, Ryan Quinn. We'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it.
Later.